Hello everyone and welcome. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe coming to you from Los Angeles, California. It's Tuesday, the 29th day of June, 2021. Tonight we have updates from our correspondents here in the US. Joining us live, Thomas Likeness in Edmonton, Alberta.
Post-pandemic culture, a world of haves and have-nots.
John Akuma in Los Angeles.
Mask wearing inside public places encouraged as Delta variant circulate in LA County.
Annabelle de Mesa in Glendale.
LA City Council launches project to provide permanent housing for homeless community of Venice Beach.
Pearl Rogacion in North Hills.
Metro NextGen Bus Plan's second phase launches in Los Angeles.
For environment news, Maylin Dineros in Santa Maria.
LA Public Library urges residents to join the BioBlitz challenge to help protect the ecosystem.
For EBC Travel, Mark Moronco in Bakersfield.
Disneyland parks reopen restaurants and offer dining options.
For EBC Sports, EJ Gonzalez in Alexandria, Virginia.
The Clippers survive elimination, and the NBA names the very first Social Justice Award winner.
Plus, an update from Bureau Chief Carlo Valdez in Union Township about New Jersey governor signing fiscal year 2022 Appropriations Act into law. In Sacramento, Bureau Chief Angel Membrera reports about California receiving Fire Assistance Management Grant to help contain the lava fire, and a Sacramento local teacher selected to participate in an airborne astronomy ambassadors program. And for our roundtable, tonight's question is, how social are you on social media? Our coverage begins now. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby says the U.S. carried out airstrikes against Iran-backed armed groups on the Iraq-Syria border after having come under attack for quite a number of weeks. Kirby says the targeted structures were directly tied to threats from unmanned aerial vehicles against U.S. personnel and facilities.
We chose to strike at these facilities after having come under attack for quite a number of weeks by both UAVs and by rocket and mortar attacks on our facilities and our people. So it's not fair to say that the U.S. struck the first blow here. But as we've said repeatedly, we got to protect our own people. The president's serious about that commitment. And clearly these attacks were ongoing. And so these strikes were designed to get specifically at the kinds of threats that were coming at our people, particularly from UAVs. And it was directly tied to the kinds of attacks we've been seeing.
Casualties?
Don't have an updated casualty assessment right now. The battle damage assessment is ongoing. We know we hit what we were aiming at, and that we destroyed the structures that were targeted. These structures were directly tied to specifically the threat from UAVs. The president had the authority to conduct these strikes under Article 2 of the Constitution, his responsibilities as commander-in-chief to protect our troops, and we're confident in that legal justification. We have no interest in having this escalate into some sort of broader conflict, but we do have a responsibility to protect our people and our facilities, and that is what the president ordered over the weekend.
Meanwhile, the top U.S. commander in Afghanistan does not rule out conducting airstrikes against the Taliban if they pressed on with their campaign of capturing new territory across the violence-racked country. Fighting has surged across the rugged countryside since early May, when the U.S. military began its final withdrawal of troops, with the Taliban claiming to have recently captured more than 100 of the over 400 districts across Afghanistan.
What I would like to see is no airstrikes, but to get no airstrikes, you stop all violence. The U.S.-Taliban agreement provides, in that agreement, that the coalition or U.S. Air Forces are there to support and, when required, defend Afghan security forces under attack. The best way to stop those, and I've actually told the Taliban this, is stop the offensive operations and airstrikes go to zero as we go forward. I still have the authority to support and defend the Afghan security forces and certainly defend ourselves as well.
Ending America's longest war, the remaining U.S. troops are expected to be out by the September 11 deadline announced by President Joe Biden. The Taliban's claims of capturing districts are often disputed by government officials and are difficult to independently verify. But experts say one of the main reasons the Taliban has been able to capture scores of new districts in recent weeks is the lack of U.S. air support to Afghan ground forces fighting across rural terrains. Miller, who is soon to transition to another commander, acknowledged that any loss of territory has an impact on the overall security in the country. The Taliban recently captured a key border crossing with Tajikistan in the north, along with other districts surrounding the city of Kunduz, effectively laying a siege to the city. The insurgents have also encircled almost all major cities in the country, raising fears that they would also make a military push to capture Kabul after the U.S. and NATO forces leave. In other news, in a sarcastic remark, President Joe Biden jokes climate change must be a figment of his imagination as the Pacific Northwest cities of Portland, Oregon, and Seattle see record high temperatures not seen in decades.
Turn on the news and say it was 116 degrees in Portland, Oregon. 116 degrees. But don't worry, there is no global warming. It doesn't exist as a figment of our imagination.
Human service responders in Portland, Oregon's biggest city, tend to vulnerable populations suffering from one of the state's hottest heat waves on record. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, or the NWS, 3 centers across Multnomah County opened last weekend to service over 350 people. Portland hit 114 degrees Fahrenheit on Monday, breaking back-to-back records set over the weekend. Here's today's COVID-19 numbers. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, June 29, 2021, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 181,524,000. Top 3 on the list of countries with recorded cases are the U.S. with over 33.6 million, India with over 30.3 million, and Brazil with over 18.4 million. This virus has now already claimed more than 3,931,000 lives worldwide. Top 3 countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths are the US at more than 604,000, Brazil at more than 514,000, and India at more than 371,000. The total vaccine doses administered worldwide is now at 2,995,118,212. Now let's head over to Alberta, Canada, as Bureau Chief Thomas Leckness gives us a picture of the post-pandemic culture there. Thomas.
Thanks, Alan. You know, life is beginning to return to normal, not only here, but in most parts of the world. And with it, restrictions are being lifted. In my province, for example, up here in Alberta, they're going to be gone on Thursday. The masses can go maskless. No need to keep your distance. You can hug your close friends and relatives, you know, the people you haven't socialized with for more than a year. Oh, and there's large events that we can attend. No more concerts, plays, and sports on video streaming. We can get out there, be part of the crowd. Or can we? While the old restrictions have been swept away, a new one is coming in. You know, a lot of times before you're sold a ticket to many major events, you're going to have to answer the following question in the affirmative. Have you been fully vaccinated? If you answer yes, you're among the haves. You have immunity. You get your ticket. If not, you're among the have-nots. Entry denied. You know, employers are encouraging people to be vaccinated. In some cases, though, they can require that immunization as a condition of employment. But then there's the question of asking whether workers have been vaccinated. Does that violate their privacy rights? And assuming an unvaccinated person is allowed to keep a job, would that person be required to wear a mask or other personal protective equipment? And obviously, these people will stand out from their coworkers. Will they be ostracized? Again, the haves and the have-nots. And this class distinction has trickled down further, even to personal events. Now, I heard a report the other day that wedding planners are being told by their clients they want to make sure the guests are fully immunized. Some clients are suggesting, well, those who choose not to get the vaccine, well, they should have to at least wear masks. And, of course, test negative for COVID if they want to attend the nuptials. Again, the haves and the have-nots. So are you planning to host any large social events this summer? And will you only invite vaccinated people to your backyard barbecue or other gathering? You know, once again, the pandemic has altered the way we live, work, and socialize. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Thomas, as long as they're bringing the barbecue, anyone's invited to my backyard. Now,
just private message me the address. I'll be there.
All right, we're going to send you a ticket right away. Let's talk about tools that people can use to help them determine the risk of their social gathering. Are there any?
Yeah, up here in Canada, we have an online tool called My COVID-19 Visit Risk. And this was developed by Canada's Public Health Agency along with the National Institute on Aging. You fill out a questionnaire. It asks a number of questions such as age, have you been vaccinated, what province you live in, the type of gathering you're going to be had, what kind of activities you're going to be having. Is it inside, outside? How long will it last in terms of hours? Hopefully not days, and whether those attending have health problems or have been vaccinated. Now, I submitted a risk assessment for a karaoke gathering that I might do someday, and it came back and assessed it as a moderate risk. Although one thing I would insist on with karaoke, and many of my friends feel the same way, everyone brings their own mic. And full disclosure, I'm fully immunized. Alan?
Can't wait to hear you at the karaoke mic. Now, another health threat, Thomas, that your region is unfortunately facing is that dangerous heat wave. How bad is it?
Oh, I tell you, temperatures this week are way above seasonal average. Today in Edmonton, we got up to 37 degrees. That's 97 Fahrenheit. But the hot spot in Canada for the third day in a row is a tiny village about 3 hours northeast of Vancouver. Today, they hit 49 and a half degrees Celsius. Translate that into Fahrenheit. That's just over 121 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know how they're handling it there. This heat wave is spanning 3 western provinces and 2 northern territories that are north of the Arctic Circle. And you'd think that would be all snow and ice. No, everything up there is melting, that's for sure. Records are being shattered everywhere. And of course, as we heard earlier in the broadcast, the heat wave extending all the way down to the northwestern United States. And as a matter of fact, last night we had a feature on it on how people down there are trying to cope. Now, emergency officials up here in Canada say there's been dozens of sudden deaths that are due in part to the heat. In Edmonton, we have concern for homeless people, social agencies trying to make sure they have places where they can cool down and have enough water. Seniors, again, at risk, particularly those who are living without air conditioning. Many construction sites here have been shut down. The job site is just too dangerous. You can't have workers out there all day in the sun. What's the advice of health officials? Well, stay hydrated, number one. Stay out of the sun. And, you know, as much as I love the warm weather, this is too much of a good thing. People just have to understand that this heat can be life-threatening. Alan?
Speaking of high numbers, Thomas, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rank when it comes to how social you are on social media?
Oh, what, your bottom one is 1? Because I was going to say about -1. I use it for research, and that's it. I have nothing to say.
You and I might be in the same bracket. Thank you for the report, Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Back here in the country, Governor Phil Murphy signs into law Fiscal Year 2022 Appropriations Act. To tell us more about it, Bureau Chief Carlo Valdez files this report.
Thanks, Alan. On Tuesday, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy signed the Fiscal Year 2022 Appropriations Act into law. This, in partnership with the legislature, helps create a bold budget that meets the state's current and future obligations. This will help make New Jersey more affordable for working and middle-class families. It will also provide huge investments in education, support for the pandemic recovery, and invest in small businesses and long-term economic growth. Governor Murphy said this year's budget represents the culmination of a 4-year journey to fix many long-standing problems in New Jersey. This is a budget that invests in our middle class and working families, supporting both those building their families and careers and those who are living out their richly deserved retirements. It also puts a world-class education within reach for all while tackling our age-old property tax problem, ensuring a stronger, fairer, and healthier future for the generation born and reared in the shadow of an unprecedented pandemic. And as for coronavirus stats and numbers, New Jersey reports of 265 new positive PCR tests, pushing the total to 892,876. Sadly, New Jersey is reporting 6 new confirmed deaths, pushing the total to 23,746 lives lost. In Union Township, New Jersey, Carlo Valdez, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
We appreciate those New Jersey updates. Thanks for the report, Carlo. Now for West Coast news. The state of California receives a fire assistance management grant as it battles the lava fire that is now only 20% contained. Plus, a Sacramento local teacher has been chosen as one of 28 participants in the Airborne Astronomy Ambassadors Program. Bureau Chief Angel Membrera reports.
Thank you. In light of the recent earthquake experienced in the Bay Area, California's Office of Emergency Services reminds residents to download the MyShake app to receive notifications of big tremors and to prepare for earthquakes in your area. Today, Governor Newsom announced that California has received the Fire Assistant Management Grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, to aid in securing necessary resources to put out the lava fire, which has currently burned over 13,000 acres of land in the Siskiyou County and is only 20% contained. In other news, a local teacher from Sacramento was one of 28 teachers selected to participate in the Airborne Astronomy Ambassadors Program, where she has the opportunity to observe the stratosphere aboard the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy Aircraft, also known as SOFIA, with NASA. In Sacramento, California, Angel Membrera, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Stay safe, Angel, and thanks for the report. Up next, and more updates from our team here in California. Eagle News America continues.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas, a 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Agila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Agila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to Thanks our Health Outdoor track.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. The Delta variant of COVID-19 is circulating in LA County, prompting health officials to strongly recommend the wearing of masks inside public spaces. To tell us more, Eagle News correspondent John Akuma reports.
Thank you, Alan. With more contagious Delta variant circling the country, the Los Angeles Department of Public Health highly advised residents, whether fully vaccinated or not, to wear face covering inside public places for their safety. According to public health officials, the Delta variant makes up about 50% of all variants discovered in Los Angeles. From data gathered by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention or the CDC, the Delta variant occurred in approximately 1 out of 5 new infections throughout the United States, which has increased from about 1 out of 10 new infections the previous week. Barbara Ferrer, LA Public Health Director, states, while COVID-19 vaccine provides very effective protection, preventing hospitalization and death against the Delta variant, the strain is proving more transmissible and is expected to become more prevalent. Mask wearing remains an effective tool for reducing transmission, especially indoors, while the virus may be easily spread through inhalation of aerosol emitted by an infected person. Fully vaccinated people can still contract the Delta variant, but only a small number of vaccinated Angelenos have been recorded, exhibiting only mild infection. So those who have been fully vaccinated or found to be greatly protected from this variant, but those who are not fully vaccinated or have been administered 1 dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine are more risk of this variant. So if you're in indoor setting, like grocery store, theaters, retail places, and work setting, you are in or are not sure of the people vaccinated status, it's highly recommended that everyone wear face masks covering or masks. The LA Public Health Department further says, until we have a better understanding of how or who the Delta variant is spreading, everyone should focus on the maximum protection with a minimal interruption to routine of all businesses operating without restriction, like physical distancing or capacity limit. In Los Angeles, California, John Akuma, Eagle News. We live in interesting time. Back to you, Alan.
John, how effective are face coverings or masks, and how should they be worn, according to these public health experts?
Alan, great question. According to the public health expert, face mask covering, I describe them as one of the most powerful tools for protection against the virus and the rising variants, including the Delta variant. This is effective especially in indoor places and crowded areas. They advise everyone to wear a mask properly for better protection, as the face mask needs to fully cover the nose and mouth, including the closely fit sides of the face and surrounding the nose. Back to you, Alan.
John, same question that I asked previously. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall when it comes to how social you are on social media?
Oh, on social media, I just look at the post. The last time I posted on Instagram or any social media was last year in October when the Los Angeles Lakers won the championship.
Okay, so no number, but I'm guessing maybe kind of low on the scale. John, we're going to talk to you a little bit more. A 1? Okay, so you joined our previous group that we talked about. Thanks, John, for the report. Homelessness in Venice Beach is a growing concern for this frequented tourist area in California. Tell us what the city is doing to address it. Eagle News correspondent Annabelle De Mesa joins us tonight.
Thank you, Alan. Venice Beach has been considered one of the primary tourist destinations in Los Angeles for its famous boardwalk, skate park, and ocean view. However, it has also been plagued by homelessness, with at least 2,000 homeless residents regularly sleeping in tents or by the shore. This is why Mike Bonin, an LA City councilman known for his tiny homes projects, for the homeless in San Fernando Valley, launched an initiative to provide necessary permanent housing. In partnership with St. Joseph Center Outreach Division, this project aims to provide temporary housing in motels for at least 6 months. Other services reach out to a minimum of 200 residents who are living in tents and are willing to receive assistance. Bonin adds that this project will run in the span of 6 weeks, when volunteers will conduct outreach to a different zone every week and provide homeless residents a chance at housing. This allows the Department of Health to close off the beach for intensive cleaning and sanitation as well. Bonin is still negotiating with nonprofit organizations and landlords to find places in Los Angeles the homeless can reside and re-enter the city's workforce. In a news release, he also assures that a stance calling for violence and arrests against the homeless is not his project's intention. He informs in a press conference what works will be offered: housing with counseling or mental health services, substance abuse recovery services, and anything else needed to successfully transition people into housing. In Glendale, California, Annabelle De Mesa, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Annabelle, so based on this, from what you know, what kind of support does Council Member Bonin have in leading this project?
Great question, Alan. Councilman Bonin has stated that he has consulted with Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti for this project, along with several of his fellow council members. He's also been in contact with most community leaders in the city of Venice, in the departments of homelessness, mental and public health, among others. Even in the members of Venice's Sheriff's Department, who have been historically in favor of arresting the homeless, stated that they'll not interfere with the project. Alan?
Annabelle, I'm looking for a number, somewhere between 1 and 10. How do you rank when it comes to how social you are on social media?
Socializing in social media, that'll be a 1.5. So I usually use social media to promote or react to artwork, maybe see the news and gain inspiration. But in regards to socializing, I like in-person interactions.
All right. Well, we're going to perhaps see some of your social media posts in just a little bit. Thank you for the report, Annabelle.
Thank you, Alan.
The Metro NextGen Bus Plan launches its second phase this week as the city moves toward higher ridership, faster and more reliable service, and lower emissions. In North Hills, Pearl Rogachon joins us this evening.
Thank you, Alan. The second phase of the Metro NextGen Bus Plan launches this week in Los Angeles to increase public use of the bus transportation while offering reliable, fast, and frequent service to residents. This second stage of NextGen Bus Plan of Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation results in hundreds of new bus trips every day of the week from Monday through Sunday, centering on more midday bus services. It will also make efficient the 8 Metro Rapid lines with the addition of local transit operators, raising annual revenue service hours to 6.5 million from the current 5.6 million, and allowing front door boarding again as up until now, passengers boarded at the rear door for safety precautionary measures and pandemic restrictions. Los Angeles Mayor and Metro Board Chair Eric Garcetti states, Metro's bus network is the backbone of our transit system, and the NextGen plan is our next step toward higher ridership, faster and more reliable service, and lower emissions. This next phase of metro services sends a clear message to Angelinos. We hear your feedback and we are working tirelessly to make our system work better for you. This next-gen bus plan of Los Angeles is the first extensive improvement and revamp of its bus system in over 25 years. A lot of research and study spanning 2.5 years went into this project, gathering technical data and personal experiences on public travel needs as well as challenges through surveys and questionnaires completed by Angelinos. Included in this launch was the announcement of the new dedicated 1.7-mile bus lane on Alvarado Street from 7th Street to Sunset Boulevard. This will be a bus priority lane on weekdays during peak hours or peak rush hours in the mornings and evenings to help speed bus transportation service to Angelinos. Stephanie Wiggins, LA Metro Chief Executive Officer, says the dedicated bus lanes along Alvarado will become a real game changer for the region and for the way Metro serves this heavily traveled corridor. We expect bus speeds to improve up to 15% and greatly enhance the customer experience through better reliability. In North Hills, California, Pearl Rogacion, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Yet another ambitious project for Los Angeles, Pearl. How many phases are there to this next-gen bus plan, and what projected results is the city looking at?
Yes, Alan, this very ambitious project has 3 phases to this plan. After the completion of this final phase, the city is optimistically looking to attain some of the following goals. First of all, transportation buses serving 83% of riders every 5 to 10 minutes in comparison to the 48% currently. Secondly, bus lines running every 5 to 10 minutes, rising to 29 lines from the current 16 lines on weekdays and to 14 lines from the current 2 lines on Saturdays and Sundays. And lastly, doubling the number of Angelinos walking to bus lines running every 5 to 10 minutes to about 2.2 million residents from the current 900,000 people. More residents utilizing this mode of transportation instead of their private vehicles will definitely lower pollution and improve air quality in Los Angeles. Alan.
Pearl, I've been instructed to lower the scale from 1 to 5. How social are you on social media?
I would say 3.
3, that is impressive, all things considered, especially your fellow correspondents who all say hovering around the 1 to 1.5. We'll see in a little bit just how social you are in our roundtable. Thank you, Pearl, for that report.
Thank you, Alan.
Still to come, environment and travel. Eagle News America will return shortly. Stay with us.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights. Sharpen your instincts for smart decision making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation, social entrepreneurship, and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
you love taking pictures while at the park, on a hike, or just during your afternoon walks? Well, here's a chance to do what you love and help the city take care of the environment at the same time. Malin Dineros has the details.
Thank you, Alan. Calling all nature lovers, the Los Angeles Public Library is looking for participants to join their BioBlitz Challenge, a project founded upon the premise that everyone can have a part in conserving and protecting LA's ecosystems. Taking advantage of summer wherein many residents take to enjoying the great outdoors, the BioBlitz Challenge asks residents to help photograph and map the insects, animals, and plants wherever Angelanians go, whether that be at their local park, during a nature hike, or even when walking around the neighborhood. Data collected will be useful in tracking and supporting the health of LA's biorich habitats. Proof of the city's biodiversity can already be found in the submissions of volunteers who've uploaded pictures of spiny lizards, flowers, and even insects like the gray hair streak, which, contrary to its name, is a butterfly, not an observation of one's hair color. To get started, residents must download the iNaturalist app from Google Play or the App Store, and from there, a fairly simple series of prompts will guide any amateur field researcher in uploading the results of their exploration. 10 or more uploads of plant and animal submissions are required, plus at least 3 examples of indicator species. Indicator species such as mules, deer, and great horned owls are typically found in very specific natural areas like rivers, lakes, and forests. But when indicator species are discovered in urban settings, this data is very useful to scientists. Although if you find a mule in your backyard, a call to a wildlife center might be your first priority. Those who complete the BioBlitz Challenge will be automatically entered in what's been labeled as an exclusive prize drawing. Participants can also increase the number of their prize drawing opportunities when their submissions include cold spot observations, which are areas in Los Angeles where very little data about plant, animal, and bug species have been recorded. To be eligible, participants need to submit an online completion form or drop off a completed game card at a local library by August 9. The BioBlitz Challenge itself, however, ends August 7. For complete information, visit lapl.org/steam/BioBlitz. So if it's been ages since your last wildlife adventure, then an LA County family safari might be in order. Let the hunt begin, a hunt for useful biodata, that is. In Santa Maria, California, Malin Dineros, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Well, give me about another year or so, and I'll have a gray hair streak. That's not of the butterfly variety. So, Malin, talk about the iNaturalist app. Does it require a lot of user input?
The app is very intuitive, Alan, in the sense that date, time, and location are automatically added, assuming, of course, you're on a network. However, there are some items that the user will fill out themselves, like an identification of the species found. Even with that, the app will offer a list of species name similar to the photo taken, but then again, this will only work if you've got the data on your phone to access the app's features. Alan.
The scale of 1 to 5, Malin, how social are you on social media?
Recently, I would say around 1, but I think I'm probably at 3, considering that I'm always on social media, but I really don't post a lot, so I might not be posting, but I'm there.
Okay, well, we like 3s, and so we're just going to stick with that number. Malin, thank you for the report. It's theme park season, and what better way to be delighted than knowing you won't grow hungry while lining up for rides and enjoying the attractions. Here's Mark Barranco for some food options updates.
Thank you, Alan. If you're a foodie, a Disney fan, or more likely both, a recent update from Walt Disney Parks and Resorts has just been released touting their reopening of plans of restaurants and dining options at Disneyland Park, Disney's California Adventure, Downtown Disney, the Disney Hotel, and Disney's Grand California Hotel and Spa. Beginning in July, familiar food hangouts like Alien Pizza Planet and Hungry Bear Restaurant will be open for business, with many available for mobile app ordering ahead of time. One of Disneyland's staple foodstuffs, where using the mobile app is recommended, is their celebrated hand-dipped corn dog. Make sure to skip their temporary location at Award Wieners and instead head over to their usual spot at Corn Dog Castle. For table service restaurants like Naples Ristorante at Downtown Disney, making reservations in advance is strongly encouraged and can be done through their mobile app. In fact, a reservation can be made as early as 60 days ahead of time, as opposed to the same-day reservations, which are subject to limited availability and by no means are guaranteed. Another option where reservations haven't been made is to include your dining party to the mobile walk-up list. Guests must keep in mind that not all table service restaurants are participating in this mobile walk-up list, but app users can once again benefit by checking which restaurants have open seats and thus make reservations accordingly. Now, there can be a penalty charged to your credit card registered with the app for no-shows and late cancellations. At the Blue Bayou in Disneyland Park, there's a $10 fee when reservations aren't honored. Visitors can avoid this fee by canceling their reservations at least 24 hours ahead of time. To download the app, anyone can go to disneyland.disney.go.com, search for the mobile app, and then click either the Google Play or App Store icon to be redirected. So for those craving some Disney's Nolan classics or maybe burgers and fries from Galactic Grill, Disney dining locations are finishing up their gastronomic designs to bring back the food, drinks, snacks, and goodies that both keen culinary connoisseurs and everyday eaters are eager to chow down. In Bakersfield, California, Mark Marenko, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Mark, as someone who doesn't have a great time on roller coasters, I, for one, appreciate having the options to sit it out under the shade with, a churro or a turkey leg while my friends are finishing up their ride. Now, will these dining locations all open on July 1st?
That's a great question, Alan. And a good number of them will, but some will open a little later. For example, Tarragona Terrace Tropical Bar and Grill at the Disneyland Hotel will be open July 2. Clarabelle's hand-scooped ice cream at Disneyland's California Adventure will open July 8th, and Kat Saka's Kettle, located in Disneyland Park, will open July 15th. So, before you're heading out to Anaheim, people should check the Disney website first to make sure the restaurant or grab-and-go food places they have in mind will be ready when they get there. Back to you, Alan.
From 1 to 5, how social are you on social media? I think you got to have ourselves unmuted there, Mark. So again, from 1 to 5, what do you rank on how social you are on social media?
So I do a lot of research, just like Brother Tom, and I just, keep up to date with everything. And so, but yes, I give it a 1, just because I don't post. Okay, all right. Well, the future looks bleak for us wonders, but we appreciate your report. Mark, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, Alan.
Now, up next, ABC Sports, and today's roundtable about being social on social media for National Social Media Day.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
The LA Clippers were an early favorite to win it all when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George joined the team. Now with injuries to key players, the Clippers are on the verge of elimination. But as the last game proved, they won't go away that easy. EJ Gonzalez has the details on the Clippers' Game 5 against the Suns. He'll also tell us about the latest NBA award. EJ.
Thanks, Alan. Yes, here are the latest NBA headlines. The Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the LA Clippers and the Phoenix Suns last night was another hard-earned win for the LA team. The Clippers entered the game with another loss to injury as their starting center, Ivica Zubac, suffered a right knee MCL sprain, joining Kawhi Leonard on the sidelines. This was a tough blow for the Clippers as Zubac has been an important force in the middle, recording 3 consecutive double-doubles in the last 3 games. With the Clippers' big pieces out and facing elimination, each available Clipper had to carry their weight. Now, Marcus Morris received the nod to start at the center position with Zubac out, and he gave the Clippers an early spark right from tip-off. Reggie Jackson, who has been phenomenal all playoffs long, also held his own in the shorthanded Clippers. These two combined for a whopping 25 points on 10 of 13 shooting from the field in the first quarter alone. Now, the Clippers had control of Game 5 pretty much from start to finish. There was a brief moment in the third quarter when the Suns had a 1-point lead, but it was short-lived as Paul George started to heat up. The Clippers won 116-102 behind Paul George, who put up 41 points on 75% shooting from the field and added 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals for his team. Now, Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson chipped in 45 points collectively. The series now heads back to Los Angeles for Game 6 in another win or go-home situation for the Clippers, which will be played tomorrow, Wednesday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tonight, Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals will be played in Atlanta. The Hawks won Game 1, but has lost 2 games straight and is looking to tie up the series tonight. Now, however, moments before tip-off, it was announced that the Hawks star Trae Young would be out for Game 4 with a bone bruise on his right foot. This is a devastating blow for the Hawks, as Trae Young has been their primary scorer, who has averaged almost 30 points and 10 assists per game this postseason. But some breaking news now, as the Bucks have also lost a star piece in this game, as Giannis Antetokounmpo exited Game 4 in the third quarter after what looked to be a knee injury. More to come on his status. Now, lastly, let's get you caught up with the latest news in NBA awards. The first ever Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion has been named tonight. This new award from the league is named after the NBA legend who had a lifetime pursuit regarding social justice. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is NBA's all-time leader scorer, a 6-time NBA champion, and league's only 6-time MVP. Now, the 5 finalists that were selected from a pool of NBA nominees were Tobias Harris, Drew Holiday, Carmelo Anthony, Harrison Barnes, and Juan Toscano Anderson for their efforts in upholding the long-standing values of the league concerning equality, respect, and inclusion. The inaugural recipient of this award is Carmelo Anthony. In Alexandria, Virginia, EJ Gonzalez, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Focusing on Los Angeles, do you think the Clippers have what it takes to bounce back and win the series?
It's just hard for me to think that they can do it without a Kawhi Leonard. Now, Paul George has been phenomenal. He joined the likes of, I believe it was Michael Jordan, Kobe, and Kevin Durant as the only players to, I think, score 40 points in pretty much a long span throughout the playoffs. So he's in good company there. But without Kawhi Leonard, it's just hard for me to think that the Clippers will be able to bounce back, especially for a hungry Phoenix Suns team where Chris Paul does not want to lose another 3-1 lead in the playoffs.
EJ, share with us your thoughts about the NBA's new award.
Definitely. I think I love the addition of this new award, especially the platform that these players have, to be able to speak up on topics that weren't very spoken up on there in the past, but is trending a lot on social media now. And these players have a huge platform to entice the audience. So I think this is a great award, and they should be recognized for their efforts in supporting social justice.
All right, for those in the know, June 30 is National Social Media Day. From Friendster in 2002, that was a while ago. I don't think I even existed then. Then to MySpace in 2003, Facebook in 2004, YouTube in 2005, Twitter the next year in 2006, Instagram in 2010, TikTok in 2016, on and on. We've been on social media, and now what we want to do is bring our Eagle News team back to ask them how social they are on social media. At this time, what we want to do is show some of the pictures of our correspondents. If I could ask that my picture be shown first so I could just give a brief explanation of mine and just get it out of the way. And then after that, I think we'll start with EJ. But if we have any, if Control can show us any pictures, and while we're waiting for that, I guess we can ask some of our correspondents here about what platforms they use as they bring up the picture. EJ, what platforms can you be found on?
Well, I'm pretty much on everything except TikTok. I think that's a little too new for me to be on. But Facebook is least used for me now. I'm mostly on Instagram and Twitter for sure.
Oh, okay, great. So I see those must be your pictures. Can you just give us like a quick 20-second description of what some of the things that we're enjoying right now?
Sure. What I like to post on Instagram is kind of more of the momentous events that happen in my life. A lot of travel pictures, like there in Singapore and there in London with my wife, and some cool celebrity sightings that we didn't expect to see. Like there was us, the duo. So stuff like that, momentous occasions that I like to post on social media.
So insert happiness here, and we have EJ Gonzalez's Instagram posting. Thanks, EJ. Do we have any other pictures that we can show as soon as we get one up? Again, if mine shows up, I'll do my quick little intro about that. Again, while we're waiting to do that, let's talk to, how about Pearl? Pearl, do you usually share? And if you do, why not?
I rarely share. Why or why not? It's because I rarely am in the live or online or on the social media. I used to have Friendster, which I think you don't know about Friendster, and then I am now only active in Facebook, but not really active because I'll just like share a little and then post a little just to show or share or give updates to my in-laws and to my mom. Just that's the only main purpose or reason why
Right now we see a lot of the sharing of your family. So you have quite a handsome and lovely family, Pearl.
Thank you. With friends too.
All right. Okay, so I think we want to bring on some of the other pictures. So what if I start talking to John? I think the names are switched over here. John?
How you doing, brother Alan?
Hey, John. So, okay, let's talk about your social media. I think you said you were kind of low on the ranking there. While we're waiting for your pictures to load, just how about a yes or no? Has social media helped you during these past 18 months?
Social media to me is just entertainment now. I don't post, like I said last time I posted was back in October. So to me, I'm just scrolling, looking at entertainment, looking at really silly dad jokes, stuff like that.
Right, and I know I don't think you're a dad. Okay, well, while we're waiting to see if your pictures come up, why don't we move over to Mark? Mark, how about the platforms that you're on? What do you use?
Yeah, Alan. So most of the time I'm on Instagram, and it's mainly like I look at influencers and see what they do, just to change the way that my mindset when it comes to like work or school. And then I'm mainly on LinkedIn, and I do a lot of blogs or posts about like the stuff that I do for my career. But it's mainly just for like when I use social media, it's more for like self-development and try to make myself better every day.
So real quickly, can you give us a quick 10 seconds of what we're looking at right now?
Yes. So then for my social media, this is what on my Instagram account, I mainly post things when it comes to like activities that I usually go to. And so like I rarely get to post about this stuff because I don't use social media a lot. But yeah, whenever I do, I just post about activities that I go to.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to move on. Running out a little bit out of time. Annabelle, you said I think you're a 1.5. How much time do you spend with your 1.5 ranking on social media?
Depends on how much time I have between my projects. For the most part, I've been so busy with my personal ones that the times that I spend on social media is at the end of the day, and that's before I completely knock out and just wake up in the next morning, and the cycle continues.
Annabelle, those are very lovely posts. I wish we could ask you for more descriptions, but I think a picture says 1,000 words because I do want to be able to squeeze in, hopefully, our last two correspondents and myself, if we have time. Malin, Malin, okay. I had a sneak peek of some of your social media postings, and I think congratulations are in order. But talk about it. You said you are now a 1, but you may have been a 3 before. Has social media helped you during the past 18 months?
I would say it didn't really help, but it didn't really bring me down in any way. So it's been very platonic, very neutral. I just go on it usually for jokes, or I am pretty active on Facebook only for the purpose of looking at funny things, dog videos.
Malin, we just saw a post, a picture of Flash. Can you explain that, the one that we should be congratulating you for?
Actually, I am getting married. I did say yes to the dress back in November, the week after my birthday. Very exciting.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. Happy birthday and a happy engagement. All right.
Thank you.
Thomas, if we have time for both of us, I'd like to share your social media. Where are you on? Where can we find you?
I best described as a social media hermit, you know. I don't post anything on it. I have nothing to really say what I want to say. I say here on Eagle, but I do use it. I'm on social media every day. I use it as research for journalism because a lot of the people we cover they post their material on social media. Right. But as far as personally using it, no. If I want to keep up with friends. You know, you can actually talk into this thing and make phone calls.
I didn't know.
And I would rather do that than post a bunch of stuff on social media.
Well, I myself, Thomas, don't post very much. I'm not sure if we have time to show mine. But just in case we don't, why don't we go ahead and talk about being social to some very important people. Social with them, whether it's online or social with them when it's in person. Of course, we're talking about our frontline workers, our first responders, and our essential workers. You know what? They deserve our round of applause. Let's all applaud our frontline workers, essential workers, first responders. We appreciate you, and true to my zero ranking, my social media posts have disappeared. But in any case, that is today's Eagle News America. We want to thank you for joining us. I'm Alan Basoyahe. We live in interesting times.
Start up your weekday mornings with edutainment, news and information kasama ang inyong paboritong Net 25.